How's it going, everyone? This is my huge honor to introduce frontman and guitarist of Youthquake, Ethan Berenger.
I heard like Siamese Dream and I was like, dude, that's like, if I could play guitar, like that's what I want it to sound like. That record kind of expanded me to where I am today.
Yeah. Every time I go to a Youthquake show, I can't not start a mosh pit and like cry on the floor at the same time. How did you make the scene what it is? I try to be all formal, but like, yeah, we're just chilling, I guess. Ethan, I have some questions. I have some prepared. How did you get so good at guitar?
Man, I don't know. I don't know if that's a vernacular I would use, but I've gotten to where I'm at listening to records and YouTube.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But I just never like got lessons, so I never really, that was never part of my routine. So just like listening to a record I love and, you know, listening to it until I could play it, or, you know, I got sick of it. Because music is like a language, you know, and
fully.
Like in your head you feel like the things you want to say, but, you know, if you're speaking English, you know how you want to say them in Spanish, you don't know the vocabulary for Spanish. So like not having lessons, I would just like go to YouTube and be like, what's the vocabulary for this?
Yes,
you know, if it's like a scale or a mode or whatever, try and figure that out, which I'm not, you know.
He's amazing, guys.
I'm not inclined in any way like to know like what is what. But
yeah.
But I feel like as a musician, it's kind of universal. You can like feel it, even if you don't know like what this is.
Yeah.
Specifically, you can kind of just feel it, and then, you know, just YouTube University. Yeah. The rest of it. But dude, I need to get lessons too. I need to find a cool old guy with long hair.
Yes. Long hair stories.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. What is your method for achieving a specific tone?
Oh shoot. It's like sometimes more important than playing for whatever reason.
100%.
Like I think you can play like whatever you want, and if you have a good tone, people 100%. Are like, oh cool, you know.
Deftones is a perfect example.
Yeah, like it's all about, because it's that sound. Like, I mean, for me too, is like you hear a record and you're just like, how do they do that?
It's effortless.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, you know, it's expensive gear and, you know, huge studios and producers that are incredible. But I think for me, getting a tone is, I'm a very analog man, so, you know.
Analog, come on.
Yeah, so I
no
only
laptop
have,
music.
Yeah, I don't have any plugins or anything like that, or not plugins. What are they called?
Yeah, plugins.
Plugins.
Yeah, DI, any of that stuff.
Quad Cortex, all that good stuff. I think it's cool, but for me, it's like you find an artist that you love, and then, you know, a sound that you love, and then, you know, spend that money getting getting that amp, because, you know, being untrained with lessons or whatever, you don't have much context going into it. So you're like, you find an amp, and then you find out like, you know, these 4 other records use this amp. And,
that's so cool.
It kind of gets you to commit to like a sound in some kind of way too, because like, you know, if you're like me and you don't really have that much money, and you spend all your money on an amp and some cabs,
800.
then you're kind of like bound to that in some kind of way. So like you're within a spectrum kind of, but then you're able to find ways to like create your own sound inside that spectrum. And I think it's cool with the analog too, because like you stay within that zone for I mean, for however long you have that amp, in like a couple years if you upgrade, or if you upgrade sooner. But it kind of keeps you true to having a kind of a sound for a bit of time. Yes. And then, you know, just dial stuff in.
So sick.
But I mean, it's
this is the tone master here. Absolutely absurd. Whenever I'm watching your videos, I'm like, I go to the comments and I'll see, by the way, his page, Joe, shout out your page. It's absurd.
Ethan Sucks.
It's
with an X.
It's so cool. But whenever I'm on his page, I like go to the comments and everyone's like, bro, tone, you know, like amp sounds crazy, like rig run down, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, giving the people what they want by asking that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, for me, fuzz is definitely like, I'm a fuzz guy. First exposure to that was like Jimi Hendrix, obviously, you know.
Absurd. You
hear it and you're just like, how does someone make your guitar sound like that? And then, you know, you kind of, there's a lot of different fuzzes and different tones you can get from different pedals and stuff. But I feel like that just super saturated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
of
super
course.
screaming. It's just my thing.
Yeah.
And I'll try other stuff. You know, I've been doing some like amp drive, but fuzz is king. Yeah. I just love
a wall. Just a wall.
Yeah, I love it so much.
It's so sick.
So that's definitely like my main sound for sure.
Yeah.
Running fuzz.
So sick. This guy, come on. This guy. Okay, let's see what we got. Who's the greatest 90s grunge or alternative band? What's the band? Or what's the few bands, like 2 or 3, you know?
2 or 3. It's definitely super subjective.
Yeah,
Definitely for me too. You know, my personal favorite, probably, you know, it would be the Smashing Pumpkins, just because like that,
they're absurd.
You know, that to me was like when I found like a Jimi Hendrix, or, you know, like I found like Zeppelin, you know, they're obviously different, but I heard like Siamese Dream and I was like, dude, that's like, you know, if I could play guitar, like that's what I want it to sound like. And
exactly.
Like, which is why I feel like, you know, I love fuzz for the most part. But I would say Smashing Pumpkins, I was like, I heard Siamese Dream and I was like, that's, you know, that's a
perfect record.
Yeah, that record is pretty much how I know how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Because like I was learning like beginner stuff, you know, trying to figure it out by ear. And then like that record kind of expanded me to where I am today.
Yes.
So like all my chord shapes, like I don't know the names of the chords, but I know the shape because I'm like, they used it in this song. And like I'm pretty sure this is like some kind of A chord.
Yeah.
But then I'll throw it into a song and I'll be like, yeah, I know this chord exists. Yeah, I'll do the Pumpkins. I love the Pumpkins. Stone Temple Pilots. I think they're
so
like,
good.
I think musically they're just super, you know, they can kind of hit it all.
Yeah.
And like most of those bands in that era could, but something about, you know, they could really just hit that like 70s kind of like I see them kind of like a Beatles of that era, you know, like just, you know, whether it's their melodies or harmonies, you know, they kind of just, they do that really well.
You get the Alice in Chains guy in the comments.
Yeah, Alice in Chains is so good, but then it's like you have Alice in Chains versus Nirvana versus Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
You know, the big four of grunge, obviously.
But like, do you think STP is, for you, better than Nirvana?
I kind of get into kicks at different times.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're like different but similar.
Yeah.
I think Nirvana's just like, obviously.
Yeah. They have to.
Yeah, they're up there just because they're up there. They are. You know, Nevermind just changed so much.
So good. Okay. But In Utero or Nevermind?
That's hard, dude.
Because those are on par. I mean, people will... I hear some people, though, they're like, In Utero's way better. Or Nevermind's way better. Like, they're two different universes. I mean, two of the best records ever, you know? Like, on par.
I think I'd have to go Nevermind. It might be more cliche. I like how like In Utero was kind of like going like a slight step away from the commercial record.
Yeah,
like
it definitely felt different. Yeah,
but Nevermind is just like it's Nevermind. You know?
It's a greatest hits album.
Yeah, and you know, you're saying like a summer day. You know, like thinking like it kind of spoke to that era of, you know, it has a perfect amount of angst, but like the melodies are just like, it just makes you feel like, yeah, this is
so perfect.
It's grunge, you know?
Yeah, it's insane. I wanted to kind of steer things back to Youthquake. we're here in the beautiful city of Redding, California. People think, oh man, you're from California, like you're from Los Angeles or something. So LA is on this side of California, and Redding's on this side and then a little more. Like, I mean, we are at two different states basically. It's a small town, like very small, and like it's a mountain, I don't know, kind of country, rural place. You know what I'm saying? What's it like? I mean, I know like from being in Youthquake to going to the shows and being a fan, Ethan is the greatest frontman here. I mean, it is absurd. Like every time I go to a Youthquake show, I'm like, I can't not start a mosh pit and like cry on the floor at the same time. Like it's absurd. So like, okay, my question was, how did you like make the scene what it is? Because I mean, bands ebbing and flowing. I mean, like so much change. But you guys consistently not only bring crowds, but bring such a consistent sound and energy. How do you build a scene?
I think it's hard in a place like here, a place like Redding. Surprisingly, there's a lot of, you know, alternative kids and, you know, people. Yeah. Which, like, when we first started about a year ago, I never would have guessed that because, you know,
so weird.
Everyone has it in them, you know. Everyone has a little rebellion.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter how deep you are in the woods or whatever. I think our scene is, it's very symbiotic. It seems
great word.
A lot of the people who come out are like artists themselves, like and you'll see that like they'll come out decked in like face paint, you know, whether you know it's doing makeup like that or you know their clothes, like a lot of them make their own clothes kind of thing.
So cool.
So I think they latch on to that aspect of it, like here's an opportunity to like showcase my art while being a part of, you know, this other piece of art, which would be like us performing.
Yeah.
Same with like the photographers, like, you know, all the photographers come out, take their pictures, cool. You know, take the pictures of the
Fuji.
band. Yeah. Like you help the band by giving them photos, and then, you know, the band will post them and shout out your work. And
so
you know, you kind of like build each other, because that's all you can really do in a small scene.
Exactly.
Not really getting recognized by anyone else. But I think there's, in like today's age, there's a fine line that you kind of have to think about subconsciously. It's like the cringe factor.
Totally.
You know, it's like there's this time where trying was embarrassing. You know, like people still think that, and you just got to get over yourself, because you know, people always hate. But I think it's realizing that, like, you know, trying and like being vulnerable and like putting emotion behind what you're doing is cool. You know, it's like, because you're being true to yourself, like whatever you want to say or whatever you want to feel, being true to yourself, and like, who cares? And then I think people see that, and, you know, they feel that, because that's like what I feel when I go to a show. So I think having a physical, like, giving a representation of that is like what makes a show great, and that's what makes people want to come out. I think in a live setting, especially like a small show, even though it's $10 for the most part for tickets, like you pay $10, like you put on a show, you know, like you want to
impress.
Yeah, we don't have pyro or like crazy lights or anything, but, you know, for lack of that, you know, you got to have all the energy you can have to kind of like shift a small room, which sometimes feels harder to shift to like a small room than it would a bunch of people. But fully. I think, you just got to put yourself out there. And a big thing for us is like, we'll sacrifice technicality or like
so good
perfection in order to, you know, move around more. Like, I'm going to miss notes on the guitar, or, you know, I'll miss a vocal part, or, you know, I'll mess it up or something. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna forget about it by the next song because you're jumping around. Yeah,
you're performing.
Yeah, everyone in the pit, is going ham, and like we don't have any music out, so no one really knows like lyrics for the most part to our songs yet. So it's 100% about just getting the crowd moving and making an experience and playing loud.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
We play really loud to a lot of venues' demise. A lot of places don't like it, but when I go to a show, I want to feel the music like in my chest. Like I want to feel it in my body. Cause then like if it's quiet, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's cool.
This is cool. But like if it's loud, like you can feel everything, everyone's going hard, then like your body just kind of takes over, and that's when you want to fully. That's when you want to go in the pit. It doesn't we're not the heaviest band in the world by any means, but if you play loud enough or with enough like emotion or passion, then people kind of just they respond to that.
So good, so true.
Yeah. It's definitely like the cringe factor of like, oh, like I'm gonna go hard. It's not very cool. Like it's
totally
cool.
Not cool until like a lot of people think it's cool.
Yeah,
it's the funny thing. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, because we're coming out of like the indie era of just kind of like standing
effortless.
There. Yeah, like you're like a really beautiful voice and perfect structure, and it's kind of just like another movement of kind of like going back to like it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just you want something real. Yeah. And I think we're at a good point in time to kind of have that kind of music. That's why we're called Youthquake. It's just that movement was in the 60s, like mid 60s. And then you have like the grunge movement coming out of like 80s hair metal.
So true.
But I think, we're coming out of this like very crisp production style of like country music.
Yes.
Pop is super, pop stars. It's more about, artists. It's an artist era, whatever genre, whether it's pop or country, it's like, it's the person. Yeah. And then they have a band. And they're perfect. The band is super good, and I think like we're stepping into more of a real. Not to say it's not real. I don't want to trap myself here, but
yeah. No, I hear what you're saying.
Getting back into like this is authentic. Like it's not
raw, unpolished.
Yeah. Like
is the difference. Yeah, I feel like that's even music is easier to make nowadays. So people can see on a computer, oh, I suck at that. Let's program that, or let's cut a corner. Or back in the day, it was, the sound going into that has to be focused on. Yeah. Rather than people are kind of cutting corners and being like, oh man, I'm going to put a song out and then I'm going to tweak it and mix, master all the stuff. And tell me if I'm wrong, that's almost what you're focusing on. You're like, what about the sound going in? Yeah. Or like, that doesn't have to be perfect, Yeah. Yeah, that's the analog, kind of their, like their pledge. The analog pledge is that, Yeah,
I mean, you're trying to like encapsulate the feeling behind the song, and if it's, like we are focusing on like live tracking, which I feel like is kind of a lost art nowadays. Just because you can feel in a lot of songs like this like it's perfect. Yeah, like it's probably done on a click. Separate times or like someone sent these stems in type thing. Which like if it works for your genre, it works for your genre. Yeah, or your sound, whatever. But I think, a lot of our songs, like the tempo will slightly shift or, like a section will drag a little bit and then explode into a new part. I think that's something just I enjoy personally. Yeah. So like I want to do that because like when a song breathes, like you feel it breathe,
Seriously.
Like you can feel the contrast. So yeah, just stepping away from perfection. I mean, it could be, you know, subconscious in my head of like, you know, I don't want to be perfect kind of thing.
No, fully.
And like you obviously want it to be great. You know, it's your art and your product, like your baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think history repeats itself.
It does.
It's kind of just another time of not recession, but like going back to something more authentic and vulnerable feeling.
Back to the roots, right?
Yeah. Which is why I resonate, I think, so heavily with, you know, that 90s alternative grunge scene, because it was just like such a breakout from the high production and, you know, talking about cars and, you know, buying houses and, you know.
Yeah. So like jackets. Literally like mom's basement just jamming and it sounding horrible, you know, until it's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's something so special about that.
Yeah.
You know, just doing, you know, being a part of a DIY kind of scene. Like you're always trying to like help each other out to like kind of, you know, you improve on something by helping someone else out, or, you know, you figure something else out because, you know, you don't have a label. You're not good enough for a label. So, you know, that's just, there's obstacles, but I think it's cool to be a part of something small that's still bigger than yourself.
Yeah. It's huge. If there was one band that you want to go on tour with right now, that you want to open for or co-headline, who is it?
Co-headline? I would love to open for a band. I think that's like the best
headline over.
I think that's the best like way of exposure. It's like open up for, you know, a big band or a medium band, because, you know, we're a small fish in like a small pond. So
right now,
dang, dude, I don't know. It's so hard. I don't know. Because you have, you know, all these like 90s era bands are huge again right now. So like they're all touring. But then, you know, you got to kind of get into what's new.
Yeah.
And like
you got Geese out
these
there
new
now.
sound. Yeah. I mean, shoot, I would open for Geese, you know, like I'll open for anyone. If there's anyone out there watching, we'll open for just about anyone. If you're selling tickets and you're on a tour, we'll open for you. We'll get the crowd warmed up.
They might steal the headline. Only warning.
We'll take all the booze, you know. We'll let everyone hate on us just to get some exposure.
Come on.
I don't know, dude. That's kind of just any alternative band.
Yeah.
I feel like in that kind of like smaller subsection of the industry right now, there's a lot of like shoegaze and new gaze, you know, grunge gaze, like that. That's kind of
grunge
big
gaze
right
is
now.
so cool.
So any kind of band like that, you know, who are kind of doing it on like the top end of the underground, you know, like Rehash
is sick.
Julie, bands like that.
So sick.
There's some sick bands. Midriff, those dogs are cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, any bands, hit us up, dude. We'll open for you.
So sick, dude.
Sweet.
Thank you so much, man.
You want to talk? You feel like you have to talk about some stuff too. I did a lot of talking,
dude. I'm the interviewer, man. I'm the host, man. I'm off the hook today. You'll have to have me on your podcast to get some out of me. Bro. Today we've had Ethan Berenger of Youthquake, the front man, the guitarist, the shredder, the man, the myth, the legend, and the very kind Ethan. He's amazing. Ethan, thank you so much.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
You're amazing. You're great.
Thanks, man.
Guys, go to Youthquake's Instagram. Go follow it. Go to Ethan Sucks and just show love, show support. And if there's one thing I want to leave you guys with, go out and support your scene, because scenes die so easy, and you don't know that, oh my gosh, sometimes 10 people being in the room and moshing will make a new Nirvana, you know, especially for like bands starting out. I mean, like myself, Ethan, I mean, so many of these scenes just die because no one comes. So come out into your scene, show love, show respect. Yeah, mosh, but also like be nice. You know, it's the best.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys on the next Watsondrums podcast, and I'll see y'all next time.